Hey guys, today we'll talk about the most efficient iPhone ever in my personal opinion. So when you use your iPhone, you wanna keep it pretty simple in my personal experience, because in majority of the cases, more distraction than actually a help. It creates a lot of noise. You're getting a lot of the phone calls, messages, apps notifications. I would just suggest you to cut a lot of that stuff. Nobody around you, even the people and apps, they should not distract you. Keep yourself productive and keep that thing away from yourself. Productivity and efficiency tips. To use iPhone for the best effectiveness for yourself while you're working or trying to make something incredible for yourself, I would consider, first of all, turn off all your notifications. These days, all the apps and app developers, what they do, they try to get your attention. You can go directly going to the settings and notifications. As you can see on the majority of the apps, like for example Amazon, I completely turned off the notifications. I think that's one of the best way to do with the majority apps, removing all your extra apps you don't use. Just select and remove that. For productivity and efficiency would be using focus modes. By default, they are located in this screen. If you slide up from the right top, you can see a section for the focus. If you select, you have default options for these focus modes. Alternatively, if you really like them, you can set up them in the shortcuts. To get to the shortcut, you just go and search for the shortcuts, and you add your own shortcuts based on controls. You select set focus, and then you still just adding one by one. And once you set up all the shortcuts, you can add the widgets. Go to edit, add widget, and then you just select the shortcuts from here. You can set screen limits. If you go search and go to the screen time, so few options would be using downtime, app limits, always allow, screen distance, and etc. I personally myself don't use them at all. I normally keep the phone on my desk or a little below my desk on the charger until I get a phone call. If I get the phone call, I get it on my watch. Even if I'm getting a phone call, most of the time I just skip it to the voicemail or just send a message that I will call back. But I usually never prioritize a phone call to whatever I'm doing, because usually whatever I'm doing is way more important than the phone call. Integration across devices. So if you are a happy owner both of the iPhone and maybe iPad, I think the integration goes very seamless. For example, I personally heavily use a notes. For example, if I'm in a bad time, a couple ideas are coming to my head, I just immediately write them down. And if I wake up in the morning, I know my note is there, is saved, and I can sleep calmly right now. In terms of the battery usage, use Wi-Fi over internet data, and that will save a lot of your battery. I do that a lot. Second tip, if you're traveling or you just outside a lot and you don't have access to the charger or you don't want to use the charger, just use a battery efficiency mode. It enables low battery mode. If you want to be mindful about your storage, which is pretty limited on some of the models, one of way efficiently managing your storage is synchronization with your iCloud for the photos. I pay for the iCloud subscription because it's, in my personal opinion, the most efficient and less headache way. Second option would be using services from the Google Photos. If you're like me and you want to be very frugal in terms of buying and selling phone, specifically iPhone, I would never buy the most recent model. I would probably search for something previous. For example, right now it's 2024, end of the year. This is a model of iPhone 11 and still pretty decent, pretty fast. I don't feel any delays. I would also consider Apple financing option, which I did with this specific model. Once you're done with the iPhone, what I will do with this iPhone is just go on something like a Facebook marketplace or Kijiji in Canada or anything which is popular in your country locally and sell it directly instead of trade-in options from the Apple. You can same way buy, refurbish it. Just go on something like Amazon. If you have access to Amazon, search there or search from the marketplaces. As long as you trust a place where you're buying, I think it's total worst. And what is important in terms of longevity, I personally myself use just a back case, because specifically with iPhone 11 and anything like related models, they're very slippery on the sides. And another important tip, just always, especially if you have your own little kids, never give your phone to your kids. That's another way to prolong the life of your phone, because my kids, they destroyed display on the phone, and I think replacing the display itself with the work, it was around like 100 something or almost like a $200. And you should understand that 80% of the time, in my personal case and experience, it's such a lot of distraction, and all these app developers, corporations and companies' main task is to fight for your attention, for your time. Only you should decide when to pick up this device and what to do with this device. Either it's a phone call, messages, or application notifications. You should manage how frequently you pick up this stuff. So I hope this was useful. Consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Thank you.